We can reassure you that, yes, as a province, we have done everything that is supposed to be done in order to be ready. Since the announcement by the minister that we will be expecting the first batch of the vaccine, which will be targeted on phase 1, which will be mainly our healthcare workers. We have, as a province, remember, we've got a provincial command council that has been running all the affairs of COVID-19 since last year. And within the provincial command council led by the Premier, we've got what we call COVID-19 surge committees that includes our response committee. And recently we established what we call the vaccine technical committee. So that particular committee has put up a lot of plans. It's got quite a number of streams that are there to make sure that indeed the planning and also the vaccine delivery systems are in place. Now, in summary, what we've done is to say for phase 1, we've identified 200 vaccinators. Already 169 has undergone the training, which was done last week, a virtual training. This week, we'll be strengthening the training by visiting 39 sites that we have identified for vaccinating this particular group, which is healthcare workers. Now, those 200 vaccinators, it's mainly professional nurses who would be supported. Each one will be leading a team comprising of a pharmacist, a security guard to support them in terms of safety, an admin clerk or a data capturer to assist with logistics, and also an enrolled nurse or a staff nurse. Now, what they will do, we have tried to say, because we've been given 2 to 3 weeks in order to vaccinate phase 1, we have, as a province, said one vaccinator will be given a target, at least a minimum per day, vaccinate 50 people. Now, that means by the end of 5 days, we would have vaccinated 50,000. We are just saying, using our ambitious program or strategy, which we know it's practical because we have gone through the drill and see that that is possible. We've also said to all our vaccinators, because we have received a confirmatory letter from the minister, we requested a total of 50,000 vaccines, but we have been given a confirmatory letter of 44,526. The 44,000 was informed by our PESAL system, which shows the number of employees within the Limpopo Department of Health, because National did a printout. Our 50,000, the extra 6,000, these are employees or workers who are not directly employed by us as the state, but are employed by our service provider. For instance, security guards, they are also part of frontliners. They also interact with patients. So what we are doing as a province is to further says, while national government says we are in phase 1 of vaccinating, we will have our phase 1 to have phase 1A and phase 1B. Phase 1A will be focusing on we have got 5 categories of healthcare workers. The first being those who are dealing with what we call aerosol generating procedure. For instance, your anesthetists who are intubating you, those who are dealing with assisting patients with ventilations. We have also your ENT surgeons, your dentists. These are the people or professionals who are directly working with your oral cavity and also your nasal cavity. And that's where this virus is housed. So we are saying we are going to start with those. And then the last one would be those who are in your HR, in your finance, who do not directly interact with patients. So that if we don't get extra 6,000, people who could have a shortfall should have been those who are not directly interacting with patients. So you can see that our plan for phase 1, it's already, we are just waiting for the delivery. As soon as the vaccine lands in the province, we can reassure you that will give us 2 to 3 weeks, we would have vaccinated all the healthcare workers. Because even in terms of storage, what we like is that this particular vaccine, which is the Oxford AstraZeneca, its storage cold chain require 2 to 8 degrees. And this is the same temperature that we are using with all our other vaccines, because on average, we are at 4 degrees Celsius. So currently, we can indicate we are safe. We can then move to phase 2, which will be informed by national when they begin to say the second batch it's available. But as
Dr.
a province,
Ramatuba, before we move to phase 2, you've mentioned that you're going to get about 44,526 vaccine of the country's 1 million that has actually arrived. And also your target is that one vaccinator will vaccinate 50 people a day. You mentioned drills earlier on. How have those drills been running, and have you been able to pick up any areas where you need to improve efficiency for you to be able to actually roll out this process of vaccination very effectively?
We have picked up quite a number of challenges, because you will know that all healthcare workers are expected to register for them to receive this vaccine. Now, during our drill, for instance, because that's the first step, we have realized that we have got quite a huge number of workforce that would not necessarily be able to use that electronic system to register. That is why we have been able to say, how do we then provide a manual consent form? Now, we've already started the process of printing a manual consent form, so that our healthcare workers who are not able to use the electronic system, our general workers, our general assistants, they would be able to fill in the consent form manually, and then our data capturers will immediately be able to support them in terms of registration. And of course, other issues where we have seen is that issues of security might be a real challenge. I will not go into details on those, but our JOC, provincial JOC, which comprises of our South African Police Services and led by the Department of Community Safety, together with our head of security in the Department of Health, they've already come up with how to counter such in case it would happen. But otherwise, also the working hours, remember, we also have got employees that are working night shift. There are those that are working day shift. We've already dealt with that during our drill to say, let's allocate a certain hours that will be specifically to deal with those who are working after hours. So our vaccinators, their roster will be structured in such a way that they do have an opportunity to can vaccinate those that are coming to work after hours. And of course, there are many others. For instance, even for us to pick up that we do have those employees from our NGO. Let me give example. We've got ANOVA and Red Cross. They do appoint what we call community healthcare workers, including professional nurses and our counselors. They are also dealing directly with patients. Some of them are also helping with the issues of testing. So those are not on our PESAL system. We've already found a way on how do we prioritize them, because they are handling patients.
And the issue of load shedding, of course, can't be avoided. Can we also talk us through what the contingency plans are for these storage facilities in cases of load shedding?
The advantage of this phase 1, which we also indicated it's going to be a learning curve for us, which will also assist in improving that, is that we have identified 39 facilities. These are hospitals that are currently running and that are currently storing a number of vaccines. You would remember that last week on Thursday, we launched what we call a catch-up program for childhood vaccination. So what we are going to be doing is that the vaccines will be delivered straight from national direct to one of those 39 facilities. And those 39 facilities, all of them are equipped with generators. You might have noticed that we've been dealing with load shedding throughout some. For instance, there's been thunderstorm and hail, which is interrupting electricity. But you have never had even a single day that a hospital did not function because there was no electricity due to load shedding. Because we are prepared, we have learned from the previous years that our generators must be serviced, and our generators must be tested almost every Wednesday in the morning, and then diesel capacity must be there for the next 3 months. So we are saying if you are to have load shedding, your diesel capacity at a given time as a hospital must be there for the next 3 months. And if you look at what we are currently doing from my office is to be supporting all our hospitals. So one of the areas that we do when we visit hospital is to make sure that those systems are in place. So in terms of ESCOM, because we know it is going to give us problems, so that our vaccines do not find themselves having to be wasteful expenditure, we have make sure, because we really need every single dosage to be on the arm of a healthcare worker or a South African that is needing that particular vaccine. So we are comfortable where we are sitting, that all systems goes. We are getting reports every week of generators being tested by our a maintenance guy in our hospitals.
Well, Dr. Ramathuba, thank you. Let's just leave it there for this afternoon. That was the Health MEC of the Limpopo Province, Dr. Phophi Ramathuba.